Welcome one, welcome all. Welcome back to Let's Roleplay, a game that is not Star Wars. I know, it's been so long that even I forgot that role-playing games could be done that were not actually set in the expanded universe of George Lucas's Star Wars. But we have, in fact, once again, entered the universe of Ragamuffins. After at least a month, I don't even know how long it's been since we actually did the last episode of this campaign. But yeah, we are continuing this campaign that we started, and that has kind of been on a little bit of a mini hiatus for a bit. So without further ado, let me reintroduce you to our players, Belial.
Howdy.
And Bean.
Hello.
Excellent. Everybody's in a really good mood, and everybody's super high energy and feeling great. So this is
The best.
the best. No one here is super depressed or super tired. Everyone is at the top of their games.
Yeah, no, we don't get depression. We're celebrities.
Celebrities we're Z-tier YouTube celebrities.
Yeah,
Anyway,
we're bottom tier celebrities.
we are. When you get down to the bottom of the barrel and then crack that open and dig a little bit deeper, you will find us there. We are technically in the run.
So thank you for watching us, the 6 remaining people that watch this show.
Yeah, thanks so much. 4 to 5 people who are still watching. Okay, so self-deprecation aside, welcome back to the world of Ragamuffins, and welcome back specifically to I forgot the name of the goddamn city. Welcome back to the great underground colony.
Welcome back to Megaton.
Oh, jeez. Welcome back to this great underground colony where a series of mysterious disappearances and sabotages has brought a group of legally minded mercenaries to investigate the mysterious goings on, and you discovered. Oh, okay, here you go. I'm just looking on the thing. It's the underground colony of Unweder. Unweder. Fuck me. Why did I name this thing so goddamn weird? Unweder Alpha.
I don't know, you'll probably call it something else by the end of it anyway.
Probably. Anyway, Unweder Alpha. I'm just going to call it that, and if this is totally inconsistent with the last episode, I am so sorry. But yes,
call it Alpha.
No, I'm going to try. I'm going to try. I'm going to fail, but I'm going to try. So you're, in the deep colony of Unweder Alpha. In the last session, you guys discovered that the murdered the body of Patches, a local scav merchant, who is kind of a community leader for the non-pirate section of the local scav community, and his friend Captain Redtooth, the leader of the pirates, a clan of scav pirates who had relatively recently, ended up finding themselves locked down in this colony due to their ship being sabotaged, was framed for the murder. I mean, technically you don't know she didn't do it, but you're pretty suspicious of the fact that the woman who seemed genuinely extraordinarily upset at the fact that Patches was killed, and was sending her men out to scour the city looking for the killer, may not have been responsible. However, the local authorities, who are primarily Chirons, big bug dudes, are pretty happy to just basically say case closed and pay you and send you on your way. And after examining the body with the way the people are clawed up, the body was clawed up in such a way where it really wouldn't make any sense for either Captain Redtooth or even most of the scavs that you've seen in this place to have done it. The person was killed not with a blade, but with a big, metal taloned claw, like something you'd see on a Shamarin or an Uluru, or possibly a robot that had been built by one of them to kind of mimic their natural weapons, their natural claws. And the scavs kind of have claws, but they're really shitty claws. They're more for climbing than actually, cutting.
Oh my god, it was a clown.
So yeah, it might have been a clown, nature's most deadly natural predator.
There was the clown from
the clown
the bar.
robot, wasn't it?
Yeah, the clown bot.
He was a shaman.
There was that one shaman bot who looked like a clown and was serving drinks.
So what you're saying is we need to dismantle it and kill it.
Totally kill that motherfucker.
Destroy it because.
He was not equipped with the sort of weaponry that would have done this shit. But, there is this big colony of Luru, and apparently they don't really like the scavs very much, especially not these pirates, because they were muscling in on their territory.
I really don't blame them.
Well, they're keep in mind these are red Luru, not white Luru. And so our two heroes, let's quickly reintroduce them. Belial.
Oh, my character is Chloe Bonzer, who is a member of the Coalition Army.
You are a member of the Frontier Security PMC. Who is a group that has a backer who remains at this point undisclosed. You've been brought in specifically to help your partner here, Bean.
His name is Ronnie. He's a Jundai, and he's just new to the whole scene.
More than fair. Chloe's been brought in to help to basically test Ronnie to see how Ronnie does out in the field and whether or not he can be introduced to your backers. Because the backers have interest, especially in people with psionic abilities, but there's some doubts about Ronnie because Ronnie as a Jundai is not a local to the frontier, and specifically he is a member of one of the three great Federation races, and the Frontier and the Federation do not have a happy history. They in fact have an extraordinarily tense history. So while Ronnie is a rather pleasant individual himself, he has a bit to prove. And so that makes it so that the fact that you guys have not been necessarily as quick to play ball as they would like is not exactly endearing yourself to the local police. However, hey, it's your investigation, and it's your choice as to what you want to do next.
All right. Where are we currently? Geographically speaking.
Basically, you just finished having the Captain Redtooth hauled off, and you've reconvened back at your base of operations / hotel room, which is down in the lower parts of the colony, which is where all this sort of went down. The Undercity is kind of there's not exactly like a huge criminal hive in this city. There's not like you go down to a certain part of the town and it's just suddenly the mafia controls everything. But this is definitely the bad part of the colony. Like, this is where lawlessness kind of runs a bit more rampant, and the security forces definitely aren't as omnipresent as they are near to the top.
Is the water and ice in our room now?
Yes, they have sent down water and ice.
Good.
You guys are getting a pretty nice treatment. Like, they're sending you guys basically anything you want within reason.
Well, yeah, I asked for that. I was just wondering if they...
Yep. And I believe they also sent more grenades.
Yes, they have sent you some more complimentary grenades.
And time to kill literally everyone.
You were able to rehook 3 grenades onto your belt, which is your normal carry.
I think you even ran out with any of them.
I guess we're making the assumption that he was missing a few when they got here.
Yeah. And hey, it never hurts to be able to pop back in here and grab some more grenades.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I snack on those grenades.
Non-grenades.
I sure do love these grenades. Oh man, they don't feel uncomfortable at all.
I'm not sure eating them is the best thing to do, though.
Yeah. These are
Is it a
out
cultural
of
thing?
This is out of character. This is out of character. I don't think it's the best to imply that Uluru eat explosives.
No, Uluru tend not to.
I eat nails for breakfast.
There is
without
a rumor,
any milk.
There is a rumor that some Uluru, like some white Uluru, are so amazingly primitive that they do gnaw on grenades and other high-tech equipment, but those rumors are greatly exaggerated and usually spread by red Uluru.
Disgusting. I fucking knew that it was a fucking red Uluru, huh?
Yeah, there are a couple of teeth marks in these grenades. I'm not sure why.
Roddy gives Chloe a suspicious look because he's probably heard that rumor.
Ronnie, come on, snap out of it.
Just wondering how these teeth marks got here. Is all.
I don't know.
Ronnie, you can actually relatively easily, when you pick it up and look at it, you can actually tell pretty easily that these are the bite marks of an Uluru. The fact that they don't really they're obviously extremely sharp teeth that made these marks, and unlike the scabs, there's no little chips or cracks where bite marks would have happened, because scab teeth are kind of shitty, and they kind of have shark teeth. They kind of they break and then regrow, where Uluru's teeth are actually proper teeth. So when they bite into something, they don't leave any. They tend not to leave broken teeth or even.
I love how we're spending the first 5 minutes on a conversation about gnawing on grenades.
Yeah, well, there's a reason for it. There's an actual reason for this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is actually leading into something that I previously figured was going to happen in this session. I'm just going to use this as an excuse to kind of set it up a little bit.
Huh.
But yeah, so you can actually tell that it has been nibbled on by an Uluru. Not to the point where it's someone really went to town Bill over it, more like someone was trying to make a point by basically taking a chomp on it before they got sent down. And given, the rumors about white Uluru gnawing on the grenades, you might have an idea that this could have been a deliberate, fuck you, from, the local criminal syndicate. He
picks up the grenade and sees the bite marks and kind of ponders over it for a second, and then looks at Chloe and shows her the bite marks as well, and is like, am I missing something here?
What about it?
Well, these are clearly bite marks from an Uluru.
Are you implying something?
I don't think. No, I'm asking, am I missing something? I don't know, did you sneak in and eat my grenades?
I find that extremely insulting. Now there's fucking red Uluru on the other hand. When we were looking at the dead body, and I stuck my my cybernetic, and she's doing this with a hand motion.
Yeah.
I imagine there's a fish or something on the table, and she's just stabbing into it with her own cybernetic.
Okay.
In order to compare to the wounds created by, Mm-hmm. So I bet you these fucking red Uluru are trying to fucking mock me. Mm-hmm.
Why does it specifically have to be a red Uluru?
Oh, you.
Because I could have.
You're from one of those fucking Federation places. Oh, yeah, red Uluru are these amazing fucking things. They're all over their models and their musicians and their fucking actors. Well, I don't know, maybe white Uluru or something a bit better, and those fucking savages are given wealth for no reason?
I'm not asking anything on that.
Well, either way.
I'm just wondering because I've heard that, Waidaluru like to snack on things that typically wouldn't be snacked on.
And I hear that if a Jundai doesn't get water in enough time, they prune up and turn into a delicious snack.
Are you implying that the rumor I heard is actually true?
No.
Because you just, countered with something.
Pretty dead on.
Fucking grab your shit. We're going to just go and fucking go to the syndicate.
Okay.
And where's the map?
There's plenty around. You get one easily enough and kind of open it up.
Right. Is there an obvious place where, where it is or whatever it is?
You have a police map, so like there's basically a place that is like marked as essentially like
So there's a graph with different different pelt tones and it says this one's okay and this one's not.
No. Okay, what? No. Two. It's like this is like the local Chiron government is basically like puts a map together, and the map basically is like shows locations, especially where there's like particular areas of like danger or difficulty for officers, and like essentially you have white zones which are totally safe, relatively speaking. Red zones that are like super dangerous, and that's basically like the areas that you were recently in where there's heavy scav populations. And then there are yellow zones, which are essentially dangerous but, kind of things. And there's a few of these are like marked down, and one specifically is marked down with a little note essentially saying, like, do not interfere with the I'm sorry, I'm just trying to come up with a name off the top of my head. The Chip Claw, the Chip Claw clan, Chip Claw tribe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll do. Fuck it.
The Chip Claw.
Chipped Claw tribe.
Okay. I want to say it one more time.
Okay.
Chip Claw tribe? Is that
chipped? Like chipped, as in like
Chippendale Rescue Claws.
Like chipped, as in like the past tense of chip, of
chipped
like chipping.
Claw.
Yeah, chipped claw tribe. So like a claw that has been chipped, that has been damaged.
Okay, so CCT.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna probably refer to it
the
as
CCT is fine.
the tribe.
Do not interfere with the CCT. Is what it just says.
I like it.
Neat.
But yeah, like you could probably ask the locals for more details, but you've dealt with enough. Both of you have worked in law enforcement enough that you pretty much get the idea that these people are essentially a criminal group that has some sort of deal with local authorities.
Well then, let's head over here.
I'm assuming you're pointing to the CCT?
Yes.
Okay.
Blue.
Sure. Let's go.
All right.
Okay.
No.
Your driver is waiting for you when you come out and doesn't question it when you say like, you want to go there. I mean, like, he knows what's going on, but he's also kind of like, hey, look, you want to go and like shove your nose in the mafia's business? Fine. So he drives you through the city, and you go back to the big elevator, and it takes you up because it's actually a few floors up. It's a little closer to the surface level, and you find yourself in a much nicer part of the colony. This is more of a residential and commercial district, whereas the lower levels are much more industrial. And like this place is actually kind of nice, and there's kind of a dim lighting. Like everything is still kept relatively dim because the Chirons don't love massive bright surface style lights. But it's got a kind of dusky kind of look. Like it's more like a like Planet at dusk as opposed to the harsher fluorescence of the industrial zone.
Yeah.
So and then he drives you through this area, and there's a lot of Chirons, and you see some red Aluru as well, and they drive you down to a place that's like essentially it's a local broadcast television station.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of, it's more like it's like a hollow television thing, but like this, essentially it's a TV station for local broadcasting. And your driver, basically goes, if you want to talk to the CCT, they usually have a presence here.
All right. Hops out.
Ronnie gets out as well after thanking him.
Yeah. I love the idea of the visual, which is my character hopping out like in the most asshole-ish action way possible, and then you do the double D thing of just opening the door and closing it behind you.
Yeah, imagining like what it looks like is we have like this little red panda with like this fucking like black trench coat, like, stepping out, like pulling it out a little bit, kind of throwing it out, getting the arms out wide as she kind of starts walking in, and then this awkward little blue frogman kind of crawls out and closes the door, taps on the window. Thank you.
Oh, gee, thanks, man.
You're a real pal.
Oh, gee, thank you so much. So iconic collection. I'll say thank you.
God. So you make your varying levels of dramatic entrance into the local television station, and the first thing you see is that basically, unlike anywhere else except for the few areas where like the scats were just completely overrunning the place, there are actually like the people who are working here are almost entirely non-Chiron. Specifically, they're almost entirely Red Aluru. The receptionist at the front desk, looks at you and gives you a big old smile, and he says, "Welcome. What can we do for you?"
Need to talk to you later.
I'm sorry if you're. What was it?
Ronnie returns the smile
Awesome.
as his partner takes the lead in talking.
Fair enough. He smiles and kind of cocks his head a little bit and says, "I'm sorry. Do you mean the head of the network, or are you looking for?"
You know what I mean.
I'm afraid I'm not 100% certain. And you see his hand kind of go like dip below his desk. Little security cameras up on the top, and they kind of turn to point at you.
Can I grab one of the grenades off of Ronnie's belt and then just hold it against the table?
Oh,
that depends on if Ronnie wants to let you take his grenades.
Okay, so I'm assuming it's kind of Chloe's in front and Ronnie is behind her, right? And so she'd be reaching back to take it.
Yeah, I imagine she kind of like half turns around and reaches for a grenade.
Yeah, so I'd like Ronnie to just kind of like do a sort of scoot around her to get in front of her and be like, "Yeah, the owner of the broadcast station, for sure. That's who we're talking about."
Okay, so the attendant kind of turns to you a bit, though I want to ask real fast, unless you really want to push for this, I'm just going to say that she gets around.
No, I'm not going to push for this.
Okay, in that case, Ronnie gets
this
around.
This is something where if Ronnie actually wanted to do this too, it would be fine. But I'm not going to push it. Otherwise, it would end up with this weird thing where it's like wrestling your partner and trying to rip a grenade off their belt. By that point, we're already shot in the head a few times.
So actually, you noticed that like a couple of people who were like a couple of uniformed security guards had kind of like made moves to reach for their hand weapons, but when they see Ronnie kind of like pull away and then get out in front of you, they don't relax, but they don't like continue to pull out their weapons. They kind of like basically continue to stand by. But the receptionist just smiles at Ronnie and says, "Well, I'm sorry. What can we do to help you? Your friend seems a little agitated."
Yeah.
Ronnie just kind of whispers, "She gets like that."
Well, I shouldn't say.
Well, anyways, we're here, just kind of asking around with anyone we can kind of talk to about some recent happenings in your amazing colony here.
His eyes open, like widen a little bit, and he says, "Oh, you must be the off-world investigators who have come to, look into the sabotages."
Ronnie smiles. He's like, "Oh, yeah, you caught me."
Nasty bit of business that. But of course, you'd want to speak with, with our management, and they would be more than happy to see both of you. However, sorry, this is station policy. We will have to take your weapons.
Oh, that makes sense. Of course.
Where are you taking them?
Oh, they will stay right here. Don't you worry, officer. We're not going to steal them or anything. We don't do that.
All right.
Here.
Okay, here we go. Keep all holdout weapons. I've been preparing this since New Vegas.
Okay.
No.
Do you want to sacrifice your weapons?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so well...
Unless they plan to remove my teeth, they can't get rid of all of my weapons.
Oh, no, they're not going to go crazy. But yeah, they want to take away some of your basic weapons. But
yeah,
okay.
well, they'll take away my spear and then like grenades and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, grenades and my club.
Okay. So for anyone who wants to hold out weapons that aren't physically attached to their body, roll me a sneak plus senses.
Well, I don't have any weapons that.
Okay, you're not. Okay,
I'm all of the weapons I plan to go in are attached to my body, which is my cybernetic weapons and my teeth.
They're not gonna force you to put on. For the record, there are actually ways they can essentially put in not dentures, but essentially those the rubber,
like a muzzle kind of thing.
Not that far exactly, but a
fake
boxer.
Vampire teeth.
Oh God, yeah,
a mouth guard is what you mean.
a mouth guard, essentially what boxers have, but a slightly more advanced version that won't interfere with your ability to talk. It will just essentially cap your teeth. But they are not going to insist on that because, hey, that's a bit extreme. That's the kind of thing that they do when they're really serious about security. And this is more along the lines of just, we don't want you trying to pull a grenade or a
also,
gun.
I'm pretty sure the worst way to get the police to not be suspicious of you is to do that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to do a full body cavity search. Sorry, policeman. What? What are you talking about? I have a warrant to search your house. No, you have to. Yeah.
Oh Lord, but
just no.
Nope. But yeah, no, you comply, and they, basically they let you take off your own, weapons and stuff and put them on the desk, and then one of the security guards comes over and gives you a very light pat down. It's not a very thorough one at all. It's basically just check for obvious weapons, and then kind of push you through, and you kind of get the impression that they know that you might have more to you, and they obviously know that you're Ronnie's a Jedi. He obviously has some level of psychic abilities. You're an Uluru. Your body is a lethal weapon, but they're not really going nuts on trying to prevent you from being a total threat, because they know this is a situation they kind of have on lockdown. They just want to make sure you don't do anything suicidally, self-destructive and trying to take them with you.
That's what they think.
Yeah, they assume you have a basic survival instinct and you're not going to throw away your life, but that's where they're wrong.
That's where they're wrong. They didn't account for me being a crazy bitch.
You might be smarter than me, you might be stronger than me, but you will never be crazier than me.
I will cover myself in honey and wrestle bears.
Yes.
That would essentially be the case, right?
Yeah, it could be. In this case, actually, yeah. But yeah, so they kind of move you through, and you're actually led not by guards, but by like a tour guide who walks you through the studio and actually does a whole thing of just being like, and here's where we film the local news, and here's where the local access television, children's television is recorded, and here's where we do like the stand-up specials on, Saturday nights, blah, blah, blah.
Whenever we pass a janitor, I'm going to spit on the floor.
Okay. The janitors are mostly machines in this place, so like they don't
Even
really react.
so.
Yeah, here's the thing. You do this, they don't react, but they do just kind of go like, okay, just mop, mop, mop. And you can see that the tour guide, like, he's very professional, but every time you spit on the floor, his face just like, kind of twitches slightly, like just like, okay, that's how you're doing this. Okay, it's fair. It's fine.
Really quick. So, how long have we been in this colony?
You've been here for actually not very long. For only about a day and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have like a few days.
Yeah. So after having spent that day and a half with Chloe and her insanity, Ronnie is thoroughly enjoying this very nice tour. And he's like really into it. He's like, wow, that's great. Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. And he asks questions here and there about different things.
Yeah, the tour guide is super impressed with you. And actually, you kind of get the impression that, like, you are doing a good job right now of kind of impressing on these locals, on like these frontier locals, that, just because you're a Jedi, just because you're a member of the Federation races, just because there's a lot of bad blood between your peoples, it doesn't matter because you can still be incredibly pleasant while your local friend can be a total asshole. It's a great learning experience for everybody.
Maybe the real racists were the friends you made along the way. Thank you.
That is the lesson of this whole game. Alright, let's go. That's it.
Racism is fun, everyone.
Oh, no.
You heard it here.
God. Okay, anyway, so so you're eventually led to the main office of the head of programming. And as the door opens, you see not one but two Aluru in the room. There's an older woman who is wearing a nice suit, and it's kind of a traditional Aluru suit. It's very warm in design. The room itself is quite cold, as it is, kind of designed for a race of people who are traditionally.
Does the fur have any ink patterns on it?
Yes, though very light ones. Like, she's kind of downplayed a little bit. Like, she's kind of got she's kind of got her aesthetics down in such a way where, she's paying homage to Aluru culture, but is not really kind of living the Aluru life, which is in sharp contrast to her guest, who is she's a younger woman, but not like younger. Like, where this older woman that have programming is at least in her like late 60s. This woman is in her mid to late 40s, and she is fucking decked down. Like, she's got tribal patterns. She's dyed her hair in like various places. She's wearing a suit, but the suit has like armor plates on it. And she has like on her fingers, she's replaced her fingers with cybernetic weapons, like with claws, and she's made zero effort to actually retract them. Like, she looks fucking dangerous. And when
a lot like me.
Yeah, actually not dissimilar to you.
She's a disgusting red Aluru.
Yeah, like, she looks a lot richer than you, but she kind of has the same sort of borderline predatory look to her. And when you enter, the head of programming stands up and greets you with a bow, like a slight nod of her head and a gesture of please sit down. The other woman just gives you a look, just kind of like sizes you both up.
I stand.
Yeah.
Ronnie smiles at the younger woman and kind of like whispers to himself, sort of like, "Ooh, festive," and then takes a seat.
Nice.
I
Because
like the
he
idea.
really no clue what the whole difference of the tribal things are. He just thinks that she likes to decorate.
What a delightful costume you have.
Wow, you look great.
Wow, your dragon tattoo that covers your entire back and arms is so interesting. Where'd you get it from?
He kind of nudges Chloe and he's like, "Look, she's like you."
Yeah, I was dead for 3 days too.
Yeah, like the like when you sit down, the head of programming waits for a second or two for Chloe to make a move to sit down, then realizes that's not going to happen, so sits down herself and says, "I'm sorry, I don't believe I've had the pleasure. Is it detective, officer, patrolman?"
Detective?
Detectives. What a pleasure to see you both here. I've heard so much about your investigation, as well as its successful and, might I add, quite timely resolution.
Well, yes, we found that person, Red Tooth, very quickly, but we aren't 100% convinced that it was her. At least not her alone.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna wait a minute before I pull a thing.
Yeah, the head of programming kind of makes a tisk tisk sound in her throat, but you actually see the younger woman, who's clearly a member of the syndicate, like if not the leader, starts tapping her clawed fingers on her chair, making an audible like click 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 sound, click 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 click.
Ronnie smiles at her and then turns his attention back to the head of programming.
Yeah, she says, "I'm afraid I'm not sure what I'm to take away from that. You're not convinced that you have the right person?"
All right, role-playing fault, deep-seated bigotry. Here we go.
Oh shit! Okay, boom. Get a fucking.
I fucking know that you are guilty, motherfucker.
Okay. The woman who's clacking her claws, like taps them a little bit faster, and turns
You
to
fucking red bitch.
Yeah, turns to look at you and says, "I'm sorry. Who are you?"
Fucking Waidaluru, you fucking crime syndicate bitch. And I imagine they're like, she's spouting in native language.
Yeah, you're speaking like
about their fucking tribe shit or something.
Yeah.
Ronnie looks just totally surprised at this whole thing and is shocked into silence.
Yeah, the head of programming. The head of programming looks shocked and annoyed, but the other woman just, her expression hardens, but she doesn't say anything. But the head of programming says, "Now, there is absolutely no need for that sort of language, young woman. This is a place of business. And we are professionals here. Please take a seat and have a drink. You clearly are over-exerting yourself."
Well, maybe you should. No, I'm going to stand. And maybe you, if you're so fucking happy about you being innocent, then you should be happy enough to take a swab of your fucking cybernetics.
The woman finally stands up and pushes her chair aside and says, "Are you accusing me of something?"
Oh, I don't know. Maybe you have something to be guilty about.
I got nothing to feel guilty about.
I mean, aside from genocide and your stupid fucking privileged red ass.
She basically kind of extends her hands, and the claws just sort of start to fucking shine. She says, "You want to say one more goddamn word, I'll tear your pelt off and wear it as a cape." I'm
gonna show my claws as well.
The head birds just start shouting Ladies, please, this is... She looks at you. Stop her!
Yeah, so Ronnie has jumped up and is like, whoa, 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 whoa. And he turns to Cole and he's like, this is not getting us anywhere.
Can I pull up my sleeves to show off inked decals on my arms?
Okay, you do that, and basically, like, immediately in response, the other woman just like grabs her shirt and rips it off. Like she's still got the armor, the armor on.
This is gonna be Yakuza.
Yeah, but she has she basically tears her shirt off and shows like her fucking again, she's a member of the fucking she's a member of a syndicate. She has like tattoos running all over her body, both tribal and like decorative. And you also see that she has cybernetically enhanced limbs. Like her arms are, still partly fleshy, but they have like deep-seated like metal bits like running through them. It's
very similar to mine.
Yeah, like she's cybered up like crazy. Like she's basically your rival fight character.
Ronnie yelps and covers his eyes. He's just like, oh my gosh! And she tears her shirt off.
Yeah, again, she's wearing armor. You don't see anything, but like she's definitely kind of like at this point, like instead of like looking like a professional, she looks like a superhero character basically. Like she looks like someone would look in a dumb superhero comic book with like a really revealing outfit, but it's not really so much sexy as it is kind of like creepy because she's got fucking metal bits running all the way through her skin and massive gang and tribal tattoos just running everywhere.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and she
I'm gonna rip mine off as well. I don't have the gang tattoos, but I do have the tribal tattoos.
Yeah. So yeah, like she's kind of flexing her claws and is kind of doing like this thing of like essentially like it's for Aluru. Like for Ronnie, this basically just looks like the two of them are just sort of like standing there, menacingly. But for Chloe, you can tell that what she's doing is essentially the equivalent of a gorilla like pounding its chest as a threat display. Like she is basically flexing her body, extending and retracting her claws, and essentially going, "I'm ready to fight. Are you?"
There's nothing Ronnie can do.
I don't know. Maybe Ronnie can calm down the situation here.
Oh,
Things get out of hand.
Okay, one last ditch effort, I guess. Okay. So Ronnie will slowly start peeking through his hands to make sure that the situation is, both of them are pretty okay covered for him to be able to look around.
The other thing is they're basically so goddamn furry that you can't really see anything, so you're still good.
What do you mean the can't see anything? Oh,
yeah, that's not like compromising yet. Like this is a very PG-13 shirt ripping.
They're bears.
Yeah,
they're bears. It's fine.
And then I mean, he's just trying to be, nice and not.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
on this crime duel, being nice for this race war doesn't get too bloody.
Oh, God.
The worst thing that would happen is something inappropriate happening during a race war, you guys. I'm sorry.
But yeah, Ronnie, what do you do?
I'm okay. Oh goodness, what am I? Okay, so he slowly, takes his hands off his eyes and is like, okay, let's all calm down here. No one is looking for a fight. Y'all are just a little tense. It's been really intense here in this colony. So we're all at each other's throats, but it's okay. We're not here to kill each other. We just want to talk. That's all we're doing here.
The Riddle doesn't look willing to back down quite yet, but she's also not attacking. Like, she's giving you a chance to essentially make your move.
Right.
One way or the other.
He looks over at Chloe and is like, "We're just here to get information, right?"
After like a moment of contemplation, the claws retract and the slowly lowers her arms.
Yeah. The Redaluru, as like you do that, she just sort of takes a step back and then like just sort of throws her arms out, sits like falls backwards into her chair, and then just slams her hands back down on the armrest. Like, okay, I'm done now. I'm gonna sit here until you're finished.
And Chloe obviously gives back a look of, if I were on duty right now, I would be covered in your blood.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, like there's like there is no like lightening of the mood from this. Like, she is sitting down and going like, okay, I'm not gonna fight you now, but like,
I'm ready.
But I still hate your guts.
Yeah, like it's very much a I'm not gonna fight you now because that's not what I'm supposed to do, but fucking just like give me an excuse and we're right back at this shit. And you're not getting like a necessarily a super disrespectful kind of thing. It's like she does seem to be actually like looking at you like you're a legitimate rival, as opposed to, you know, like, oh, I'm gonna like clean out this fucking filth. But she's also clearly like, I would love an excuse to, like, you know, get murderous. And the head of programming, you know, carefully sits down and presses a little buzzer on her desk, and an Aluru girl comes in holding like a tray with like a number of shot glasses around a central bottle, and she stops for just a moment as she sees like the two mostly like shirtless like tattooed Aluru like, you know, sit like kind of staring each other down with their claws semi out, and then it's like, okay, and then carefully starts like pouring out drinks.
How many of your subordinates have cybernetics?
Ronnie sits down as Chloe's talking.
The head of programming clears her throat and says, my associates are primarily in the entertainment business. We tend to have relatively few cybernetics outside of specialist positions that require them for work-related reasons.
That doesn't answer my question.
A few.
Mm-hmm. Any of them have been out of line?
The one with the claws, you know, kind of like makes a nondescript like shrugging motion with her arms and says, if you're asking if any of our people have been going around slicing up lizards, no. We got better things to do. We leave that to the lizards themselves.
So there's a lot of lizard on lizard violence?
She shrugs her shoulders again, and the head of entertainment, head of programming, steps in and is like, yes, well, there has been a lot of violence in that whole area, and, well, you know what they say, you know how it is. You have a lot of scavs living together in close proximity, limited access to resources, poor living conditions. It's inevitable that they turn on one another.
Now, we found something at the crime scene that indicated that it was not, that a murder was not able to be committed by a scav. So it's and evidence suggests it's either a Shamarin or an Aluru.
The head programming shakes her head. Well, we have very few Shamarins here, and I assure you that none of those who are here have been here in a permanent capacity. They come and then they leave.
So that gets back to my question. Which one of you read... She stops herself from saying motherfuckers. Which one of you read Aluru? She doesn't say it out of respect. She says it out of
a desire
I'm trying to avoid having to kill all of these people.
Having to start a
Ronnie
fucking having to like fight your way out of a TV station.
Yeah. This is the Millennium Tower.
Ronnie looks a bit proud at her efforts.
Yeah.
One of you read Aluru have been out of line.
Or it could be that it's a white Aluru. There's
How many
nothing that says there's enough for one of you to be going around killing people. It just takes one, after all, one unstable individual.
Mm-hmm.
So Ronnie sits forward, and he's like, okay, so, your TV station, he kind of does it with a bit of air quotes around the words, and he's like, you guys have, I don't know, would you say at least a somewhat control over the Red Aluru population, at least keeping most people in check, right?
The badass one, younger woman just sort of smiles, but the older one, actually responds by saying, "Now we don't control anything. We are merely purveyors of information and entertainment. But I would be lying if I said that our word didn't have some sway over the local populace. We are the most trusted voice in news."
Now, your entertainment doesn't extend past the legal kind, does it?
Not at all. Not at all.
Mm-hmm.
Her eyes kind of flick to the younger woman who, kind of continues to smile knowingly at you, like, oh yeah, fucking you, you don't even need to ask, bitch.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So Ronnie looks at the younger woman. He's trying to give off this vibe of like, we know what's up, and that's not why we're here, sort of a thing.
Yeah, like I think they kind of get that impression. Like they know that you're not. Okay. Like you
we're not after
into their
them.
office in order to just start arresting.
Oh yeah, Chloe is trying to imply is trying to give them an out so that she, of like, is there literally anything else that it could explain this? Yeah. Because if not.
Well, basically, okay, so this is just something I'm going to basically kind of give you as a small hint, because it's something that you'd probably have, like, your characters would probably know, even if you, maybe not necessarily have this level of stuff with, like, as a player. Essentially what's going on here is they know you're detectives, they know that they're connected to organized crime, and they also know that you don't have any direct legal, ability to really strong-arm them. So what's basically happening here is they're waiting for you to give them an excuse, give them a reason why they should, divulge anything to you that they wouldn't have to as just, part of, deny everything that needs to be denied and then brush over anything else.
Right.
They're not necessarily sandbagging any effort of yours to give them information, to give you information, but they also are very clearly kind of not willing to just give you information out of the goodness of their hearts, because they know they don't really need to worry about you specifically.
Mm. Okay.
So we have reasons to believe that there have been some sabotages lately.
That's correct. It's been...
Now, Now, these sabotages, have they been affecting your business as well?
There have been some interruptions in our services. Yes, it's been problematic, though hopefully those will be resolved now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But if my associate and I are correct in that Red Tooth was not the perpetrator, I'm not sure that it will be resolved.
The younger Luru kind of,
That was a surprisingly intimidating ass thing to say.
yeah, like the older woman kind of is like, but the younger one now steps in and says, any problems that these sabotages might continue to have for us are ultimately very minor. Very minor. We lose almost nothing from them. However, we gain quite a bit if the scav problem disappears, and thanks to you, it seems like that's going to happen. Without their leader, their little pirate gang is going to fall apart pretty quickly. And
erupt into total and complete chaos, which, actually might result in even more sabotages.
You might think that losing those bloodthirsty lizards, losing their leader will hinder them in any way. In fact, these sabotagers are what caused them to even come here in the first place. I mean,
right.
After all, if it weren't for all of these things happening, they would have up and left. And, left
their
that
ship was
entire
one of the
patch of
things
land
they
to die themselves.
This actually gets in a pause. They're like, that's not entirely untrue. But if with their leader is executed for their, the crimes of committed by her people, and her people in their leaderless state find themselves being stamped out, then it would lead to a larger scale. It would be a relatively efficient way of taking care of the current scav infestation on the station.
That's a lot of ifs. Not sure you can guarantee that will happen at all.
The news, the president of entertainment kind of starts to smile and says, well, at least one of those we can, I think we can be relatively certain of. If you haven't heard already, word from the top says that the execution will be going forward, at an accelerated rate. They're going to speed right through the trial and make an example of our dear, dear Captain Redtooth.
I don't really care that much about it, but I'm just going to tell you right now, if this execution doesn't solve anything, and it still remains in total chaos, or sabotages continue to happen, you're not going to just have two of us coming back. You're going to have an entire squadron of Voidaluru coming in here. And I assure you, they're not going to be convinced by a frog to back down.
The younger woman scowls and says, let me make something clear to you. In a week's time, couple of weeks at the most, a storm is going to hit this colony. We're going to be locked down here for anywhere as long as for as long as 6 months. During that time, the way I see it is either we're going to be in a station that is no longer being sabotaged, or we're going to be in a station free of scav infestations. Either way, it works out for us. So, my question for you is, why should we risk gaining nothing from the situation just to, take a chance at getting a slightly better outcome?
Could you repeat that?
Okay, basically, she's saying in about a week, the
storm's going to drift in, and there's going to be no.
You guys, the colony's going to be cut off for about 6 months, and during that time, either A, like basically the two best options for these guys for the syndicate is either A, the scavs are all dead, or at the very least beaten down hard enough that they're not a problem anymore for those 6 months, or B, the sabotages stop and things go back to normal. Right now they're feeling pretty confident in executing the scav and just letting the sabotage continue because, hey, at the very least, it's the it's the better. It's not the better option, but it's still a good option. And they're basically wondering why they should, risk losing out on that by continuing the investigation, and either letting Captain Redtooth go, or possibly inciting the scavs to riot if they realize that Redtooth was killed and the investigation continues because the government knew that she wasn't responsible, but killed her anyway, basically just 'cause.
Okay.
Because if it happens, and there is still sabotages going on, and I'm going to be rolling I'm going to be rolling an intimidation after this.
Okay.
Then you might find your your sheet stained red tonight. I know this sounds really corny, but I'm going to roll anyways because who cares?
No,
it's corny.
Yeah, it's good.
You say that.
No, I mean, like, go for it. Like, honestly, like.
All right, let me find. Okay, what's intimidation under again?
I mean, usually you'd roll that alongside grits.
You could use it as agility as well.
Well, if you want to use a weapon.
No, it's not grits. It would be muscle.
Sorry, yeah, it's muscle or agility, depending on
muscle,
how you.
Or hand-eye, depending on what you're.
On what you're using to intimidate them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm going
to add in the option to also use grits for if you just want to essentially threaten them with your, will, with will.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so how do you want to intimidate them? Like, are you grabbing a weapon, or are you flexing your claws, or?
Well, it'll be the claws. I don't have a weapon, but
yeah. So in that case, use muscle.
Yeah. So the total is 21.
Okay. So you're not 100% certain, but you. Okay. So so it's using brain. Sorry, I'm dumb. Using brains. To imply social damage or an indirect threat, or muscle, hand-eye, or agility to threaten openly with damage. So yeah, in this case you're threatening them with your claws, so that is still muscles.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, so you don't see they're not actively going oh no, I'm shaking my booties.
Yeah.
But your words do seem to have struck home at least a bit, and there's a few exchanged glances, and the head of programming says, "We'll take what you've said into consideration. It's something we'll need to think about."
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing that's them saying, "Get out of here."
Yeah. This is please leave, but also we're not throwing out what you've said. We're just going to need to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
You have some sort of impression.
Yeah.
You're just not sure how great of an impression it is.
Okay. So Ronnie stands up and he kind of fixes his coat a little bit. He's like, "All right, think on it some more and get back to us." Do we have a card or something?
Yeah, you have a card. You have
yeah.
You see, you get into your business cards and step out. And that's
I'm gonna say I'm not going to bring my police shirt thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
So it's been about an hour, so we're gonna call a quick break here, but we'll be right back with more ragamuffins. So don't you change that channel, or do, because it's gonna be a day before the next video comes up. Stick around.